Hi everyone, this is Francisco, and in this video I wanted to share how we can create an artificial salt river. And I'm talking about like the Sacramento River, but with more of an abundance of water. Especially in places in like on the in the world that is super dry. So it looks like down here in California it looks pretty dry. As far as these images, are revealing. So I think I might have created a video like this already, but I don't really recall. I don't really remember. Now, this is only if the drought becomes so severe to the point that people start living around the coastlines, and around rivers. So it'll be simple to do this. And again, I think I already talked about this, but for some reason it came back in my mind, and I wanted to talk about it, to share what's on my mind, because I just don't remember. So back in the days, they used to use water jets for gold mining. Like this. It's called hydraulic mining Wikipedia. So technically, with AI technology, you guys can get some high points and some low points and basically create a channel of nothing but water. So you guys will cut through a country and introducing this water in like from one point to another point, or from one like one side to another side. Especially like in the deserts, right? You guys can do this all day long. For instance, right here, look at this. I think this is Africa, but I'm not sure. So let me type it up. Africa. Well, kind of. It's over here in Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Niger, Mauritania, Western Sahara, and Mali, whatever. So you guys can, like, say you guys start right here. You guys can use the hydraulic. It's called a hydraulic jet to, and basically you guys will just use the water from the ocean. So you guys will siphon the water from the ocean and encourage it to go inland. And if there's a high point, you know, like a hill, you guys can siphon the water even a mile out, and so this way you guys will have clean, fresh water getting siphoned from the water that has already been introduced from the ocean. So it will use this as a reservoir. The water will be channeled a mile away with a hydraulic jet, and it'll start breaking up the hill from this opposite direction, and eventually it'll reach this point where the water's at, and it'll break free, and then the water will freely flow to another area where you guys will basically repeat the same process, and eventually it will create a river. I'm guessing. If not a river, it will be like a cheap, affordable way to make like a beach lake. Let me see if I can find something. Using again the water from the ocean, and just bringing that water to inland. So basically that's all you people would do for you guys to inhabit that area. Okay, so Imagine this was the desert, but you guys did this. Then you guys will be able to build there. You guys will be able to, um, you know, expand further. But I'm thinking that the channel that you guys will build, or create I think it would have to be done somewhere in the middle of nowhere, where obviously there's not a lot of people, and if there is, hopefully they're out of the way. Um, and not just that, but I'm assuming that the water will flow freely from one side to the other, from point A to point B. And yeah, something like that. But obviously looking at I think it's called a telegraphy. Oh no, it's not telegraphy. Um, telegraphy. No, it's not. It's not that word. Like the terrain. I think it's called terrain. Terrain. Yeah, right here. Terrain analysis. So you guys will use technology, AI, to map everything out and to look for areas where the water will flow freely. Because water will travel at it will travel in the least resistance path. So for instance, it looks like this might be like the ocean over here. So you guys will use this water, okay, to begin to break up all the dirt and to basically bring the water inwards, where eventually it will just become a natural river, and it will be a salt river, and over time plants will grow, fish will gather there. It'll encourage other living organisms to live there and to thrive there. And then you guys could even make a big circle to act like a lake. I'm talking about a humongous one. And these dry areas in the world will no longer be dry. So let me look for. I think like a good one is Dubai, even though. Wait, Dubai. Oh, the city. Oh, I spelled it incorrectly. Whoa, this is like humongous. No, not like this. This is too advanced. Obviously, it won't work right there. Okay, let me just look for a desert. Desert near a beach. Like this. and you guys will get like some big ships. You guys will get the hydraulic jets, and basically introducing the water and encouraging it to go inland. And it would be so simple. It would just require energy on our parts. But once it has a path to travel, the water will just basically flow freely. I'm assuming. Okay? So, I mean, obviously that's why I said you guys would have to do like a terrain, like, I don't know if the word is analysis, but like basically you guys will have to scan it and have AI technology look for low points, so you guys could basically use the water from the ocean to flow into these low points, and eventually it'll just go in there, and then you guys can stretch it further out, or you could just allow that water to fill a certain area and create a humongous lake. I mean, a lake, a pond. But in this case, it will be a lake, and you guys will be able to create homes, introduce like boats, and a bunch of other things. So all of this will be artificial and I think affordable. So imagine it like this. Imagine this being the lake. Okay? So eventually it'll look like this, and then you guys will be able to build all sorts of stuff around this, obviously educationally, in the event that more water comes in from the ocean or whatever. And I don't think that it will make too much of an impact in the rest of the world and the rest of the coastlines. I mean, there's a ton of water. You know, what would a little drop inland do to the ocean, to the vast ocean? You know, so right here in Mali, it looks like there's a river. Oh no, this isn't like a lake, but it's not a lake, it's a national park. But there is some lakes here. And I know in California, where I live, there's Lake Matthews right here. And this is small, you know, but it's pretty big still, and it's beautiful. Okay, but just imagine the potential of you people buying out, thousands of acres for pennies on the dollar, and doing this to the land. And I think that it will be a thriving ecosystem like overnight, especially with all the technology we have right now. Elon Musk, he has the company Boxable, so you guys will be able to like introduce these type of ready to assemble pre-built homes on site. And they even have the 3D printer machines, and immediately you guys will be able to create, not on the lake, but on the coast. You guys will be able to create a shipping dock. And we know that the shipping docks are, right now, they're operated with AI technology. So you guys will be able to do something like this. Right next to the coast, on where the desert's at, and you guys will use solar panels and windmills to convert the salt water into fresh water. The salt that you guys extract, and the water, the salt that gets dried up from the production of fresh water, because there's going to be a division. The fresh water is going to get separated from the salt. You guys will be able to sell the sea salt all over the world, to this, to other cities, other countries, or whatever the case might be, or to the people there. And not just that, but there's another company that created the mere focused generator from the sun, something like that. I don't really know what it's called, that's why I'm saying it like this. But this thing, concentrated solar power. So you guys will basically be able to create another one of these next to the city as well. So you guys will have a thriving community overnight. So you guys will create a lot of jobs as well, and disperse some of this craziness and hecticness from all of these people, in California, in New York, and other populated areas around the world. And it'll be optional. People have the free will if they want to move there or not. Even if it gets really, really hot. Obviously, people have homes, they have vehicles, they have air conditioning. Roads can be built, just like Dubai. I think that Dubai, they started off, because there's like a documentary, like, let me type it up, documentary of Dubai. From the starting point. And I think that's all they did. They created, a city, in the deserts, in the middle of nowhere. I think that's how it went down, because I think my brother and I were watching a documentary about it, but it looks so populated. I don't know if this is Dubai, because they're saying that, like, the sand, they get these sand storms, and it carries a ton of sand into the city, like almost constantly. But yeah, I don't really know. But that's the idea. And I mean, you guys don't have to do everything that I'm saying, but definitely I'm thinking like the river the river idea, if anything, to introduce water into these regions. Because there's nothing out there. There's no water. Maybe you guys can even utilize these dried up once in history water channels and reintroduce the water, um artificially, um in these regions, in these places. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this and I want to zoom in because I can see a river right here. You see this? There's a river, and it's starting from one point of the ocean over here, and it looks like it ends over here somewhere. And it's so easy to do. I mean, water cuts through dirt, through rock like butter. So you guys are you guys are complaining or whatever that there's no water over here. Well, you guys can make it happen. And again, there's no one living out there. So right now will be the time to plot everything in advance for future development and infrastructure. So if you guys are really going to bring this water inland, you guys might as well do it big time. Don't create something small. Create something big and large where it could attract a ton of people, and all of this will get converted from bone dry to this, like a forest. Because all of this water that flows through here is going to get absorbed into the surrounding soil. Okay? And this is actually the best example so far. And it's actually a trip because I'm watching something else and look what came up. That's you see that? And I'm not even making this up. Okay? Right now, this is happening right now live, in my bedroom. I just pulled this up, and then this is a YouTube video. what the earth was made, deadly wastelands and extreme. So it's just a video talking about how the earth was made. Okay, and they're rambling about other things, a bunch of stuff. Um, However, I think it's a straightforward concept. And like I said, it's using the water, the existing water that's there, and using these hydraulics to blast this material at the low ends, the low spots. And obviously there's no people out here. And if there is, you guys can work around these people, and eventually these people, if they live anywhere around here, they'll eventually move near these rivers. And if you guys look a little bit more downwards over here, it looks like there's more lakes, humongous lakes. So you guys can do the same thing. You guys could literally introduce all of this water right here. Like, you guys, do you guys see how much water is right here, or like right here? You guys can do the same thing. There is no limit. There is no like restrictions other than the ones that we make. But you guys see all of this water right here? You guys can technically do the same thing over here, in the United States of America, or anywhere, even Mexico, any country, like even Russia could do the same thing. Russia is humongous. They have a ton of land, so they can easily do the same thing. And look at this. You guys can place your animals there. You guys can breed animals. You guys can release some animals there, and they will breed and survive. Hopefully, I don't know, because it's salt water. So, but maybe you guys can create some pools to have fresh water as well. I don't know. You guys will figure it out, But I think this will be a good way to 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 prevent some of this drought stuff that's been going on. Because there's a lot of water. There's no reason why we have a drought, or why we have to tolerate and put up with a drought, when we can easily utilize the water that's coming from the ocean Like especially like right here. You know, the water's going all the way over here. You guys can have a factory, you know, right here, a water company or whatever, that converts the salt water into fresh water, like right here on the spot. Or something like that, you know? Um, and that water can be um, used for all sorts of things, even farming, you know. But I mean, if you guys do something like this, where you guys split up, I mean, maybe that's what you guys should do with with the United States and Mexico. Instead of creating a border, just freaking make, you know, cut right through it. Because nothing is impossible, you know? Nothing is impossible. And I think that we can ultimately recover some of these places in the world that where it's a complete wasteland. You know, and even if it isn't, even if there is life there, like scorpions and other animals like snakes, you know, eventually they can be transferred and relocated to a different section in their natural habitat, though, where it's nothing but deserts, but just not there, because that's where we humans will occupy, unless you guys create some national forests. You know, like right here, there's the San Bernardino National Forest. So, okay, like right here. I'm thinking this is the desert. I'm not sure. Um, you know, you guys will be able to you know, create some of these national forests where there's nothing, where the land's bare, and you know, there's nothing out there. And like I said, all you guys have to do is use the water and bring it over here. And you guys can probably even create some dams. And I don't know if they work, if they're saltwater dams, but I'm sure it's possible. I mean, we can look it up. Dam waters, dams that use salt water. Salt dams, or salt domes, and salt canopies provide another subsurface storage option in the offshore. Salt domes have long been on onshore storage site for petroleum. For example, the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve and the use of salt domes for storage is being investigated for offshore energy and hydrogen storage. So I don't even know what the fuck I just read. But we know that water, there's water jets that cut through stones and marble. Water jet cutting machines can cut 12 inches of the hardest stones like granite, marble, and quartz at high speed. Water jet cutting at an even greater thickness is possible if you decrease the cutting speed or increase the water pressure. October 4th, 2023. Okay? So, when it comes to this shit, there's no fucking limits. You guys can have a fucking lake, a river overnight. Especially with all the technology and shit that you guys have today. And for people and residents who wish to expand and to grow and to be a part of these type of movements, it will basically be all like, it could be voluntary type of work, or it could be paid work, but these type of people who will get involved will be like people who would want to who would want to become a resident around the water. Whether it's a river like this that it creates, or whether it's a humongous lake. And remember that this lake will be connected with the ocean. So you guys won't have to think about cleaning it or maintaining it. And if you guys can actually cause it to have this free flow from one point to another point, you guys will never have to worry about cleaning it, because it will cycle through. The water will constantly cycle through forever. And there's huge potential in this. Huge potential. So yeah, I just wanted to share this video with all of you out there. You guys can create your dream city, like playing Sim City, but in the real world. And like I said, this can be like kind of like a secret operation where like the military can get involved, like professionals can get involved, obviously for safety reasons, to keep everyone safe, and advising everyone like, hey, we're doing this for the greater good of humanity, for future generations to come, and to do something about this drought, to introduce water inland, because a lot of this water is going to also evaporate, and it's going to cause more water to be in the atmosphere inland. Okay, so all this mist is going to get dispersed onto the land, and it's going to bring the dust pollution down as well, and the smog is going to work wonders just with these rivers alone. You guys are spending tons of money on research and development on vehicles and perfecting them, going from gas vehicles to all electric vehicles. So I know this has a lot of potential. And I think that at the end of the day, people won't have an issue with it. Let's say, someone loses their home because the water passes through their property. Then you people can just say, oh, you could just, put your property over here, man. Even if we had to buy the property for you. But instantly, you guys can start selling this land. Instantly. To rich people, to investors, to business owners that want to use the water, or whatever the case may be, or companies that want to sell boats, and maybe they want to rent out boats, like a boat rental company. You guys are going to need an airport, so you guys can create airports, airlines, and a ton of other things. And people from all over the world will go there, and some people will fall in love with it. And I'm thinking, if you guys create the rivers wide enough, you guys could even bring in the boats, the big shipping boats, inland. So I mean, there's a ton of other things that we can fix and resolve if we just take the time to think these things through. Okay, like right now, it's probably impossible to transport goods in these regions with regular vehicles, because there is no roads there. Unless you're using a special type of vehicle. So you guys will use the water to work for you guys. The water will work for you guys, not the other way around. So just remember that. If you guys want to dig down, and if if you guys want to get some dirt out to make it more deeper and to create a valley, like trenches, then you guys can use that. You guys can do that with machinery all day long. It's kind of like these. I was doing traffic control, and I witnessed the paving machines. So these are for road construction, for building roads, and I mean I'm talking about you know yeah, like stuff like this. So that's all these machines do all day long. And there's a crew. They're fully trained. They know what they're doing, and they make miracles happen. So you guys can do something like this. You guys can introduce the water, and as the water is going in, you guys can cause some of this dirt to go on low points, and eventually that water is going to settle. The sand and dirt and rocks are going to settle, and then if anyone wants to build something, that's when they would have to look into the excavation, to level everything off and to create a building pad and everything, Cal OSHA regulated and enforced, with like code enforcement, and also keeping in mind regarding the laws within each country and jurisdiction, respectively. Okay, so I mean, this could literally it could literally create infinite amount of opportunities for everyone. Now, you guys, the people out there who breed animals, you guys can easily buy a certain piece of property, fence it up, put your animals there, whether it's alligators or elephants or giraffes or whatever likes to live out there in the deserts. You guys could literally make all of this into a zoo, like a tropical, it looks like my other one. Tropical freaking, a little bit more smaller, like Amazon. Whatever you people can think of, it's there, and you guys have the power to do it. Because trust me, I remember digging through a ton of weeds. I mean, a ton of roots. And I use water. I use the water gun, the nozzle, because around the sprinkler, like watch, let me look it up. Sprinkler sprinkler covered with roots. See, look at this. Replacing difficult sprinklers engulfed in roots. Okay? So it's a huge problem. But the way I would do it is eventually I grab the freaking water hose and I would spray, and I would like force the freaking water hose around the sprinkler, and then I would just get the pliers, and I would cut the roots, and that's how I would make the hole and replace the sprinklers. Because, my friend had a freaking tree. He had a lot of trees around his property, and it was a nightmare. Yeah, the trees were like this. Roots everywhere. Okay, and it was tough. So I know how easy and effortless it could be with the water jets, which in this case you guys will use one of these hydraulic jets. And this thing, I don't know how many gallons per minute this thing pumps through, but we could look it up. Gallons per minute. It's not even showing this information, but look at this. They said that these were gold miners, but maybe they weren't even gold miners. Gold miners excavate an eroded bluff where jets of water at a placer mine in Dutch Flat, California, sometime between 1857 and 1870. And look at this. All they're doing is, using the water, and these hoses, they can easily be mounted and clamped onto a tank. Or some type of vehicle. Like nothing. So, instead of this being a gun, it could be the water jets. And you guys can operate it with a remote control or through computers. Okay? Because in today's time and age, we have so much technology. And we don't have to put anyone at risk.
Oh yeah, and then I have my other gun that I bought.
Okay, so yeah, like
It's all stainless steel. And I ordered it, but they said that it could take up to.
So yeah. Like right here, it looks like these people are moving these hoses by hand, probably with a group of people. And imagine having to move this thing around. They probably had to shut off the water just to be able to move the hose. It was very difficult for them. I could just imagine. Because, you know, all this water gets super, super heavy real quick. So that's all you guys will be doing. And later on, you guys can, you know, remodel and fix everything and make it look really beautiful, like river homes. You know, so you guys can do this type of future development type of stuff where you guys can create homes right next to the river, like this one. Okay, this is a good example. Okay, so obviously you guys created the river and trees are growing and people are moving in and they're building, you know, people are building roads, people are building homes, the forest people, the people who are maintaining the, you know, like the city, the growing, that are in charge of growing trees and maintaining those trees and stuff like that, and using these resources to create more medication and you know, and to grow fruits and vegetables and whatever else grows with like salt water and even fresh water, because you guys will be able to convert the salt water into fresh water. So there's a lot involved here, okay? But it's possible, and all of this drought talk will be out the window tomorrow. Yeah, like this. Okay, this is another good example, but I mean, I don't know, this is kind of more developed, but this looks nice right here. Minus the trees, but you guys can start growing trees, and eventually the trees will just spring up naturally. Okay, so even if you guys did that, you know, without all this future planning and stuff like that, I mean, eventually people will have the right to go there and build or whatever. But I mean, it only takes a few years for a tree to grow, you know, 15 feet high, especially near a river where the soil is wet and moist all the time, because the roots have time to branch out. So yeah, there's so much opportunities, you know. So yeah, like right now I was watching some videos, and they have these machines that cut trees, like tall trees, you know. And there's YouTube videos about these machines, and I mean, these guys are not fucking around. So the same concept in mind, you guys can keep the same concept in mind when it comes to these hoses. Okay, the hydraulic
It's
um hydraulic jets.
this is supposed to go all the way down to the bottom, and it's supposed to hold 15.
You know, you guys can literally put them on these tanks,
They put all this plastic.
and you guys can bring it down really close to the dirt, like if you were doing it yourself on a small scale.
Because in California we can only have 10 in one magazine. But it was
So like I like it like
down,
I like I read earlier, um, this uh,
we're in California, so the laws are you can only have 10.
this you know, the water, it can cut through marble and some of the strongest stones out there.
And
Okay, like nothing, like butter.
the governor of California, he's been changing the laws.
So
And then
so yeah, like this is a full-time job for some people.
last year the court
And I mean, it's going to involve
against
a number of educated people, you know, to get involved, and it's going to require planners, like I shared earlier, the terrain analysis, the terrain evaluators to determine and to map out where they want this water to flow. And yeah, you guys you guys get the picture, I think, from this moment on. So I don't need to continue stressing or re um like restating certain things that are obvious to me, but I'm not sure if they are obvious to all of you. But I think that with everything I've shared to this point in this video, it's pretty much common sense from this moment on. And there is some people like that breed fish in salt water, in hot weather or climates. That'll be better, climates. Breeding saltwater fish. This is whogivesafish.com. Okay, accept all cookies. Breeding saltwater fish. Breeding saltwater fish can be a difficult process to be successful with. However, with the correct methods and strict attention to detail, you can successfully breed certain species in captivity and even make an income from it if you wish. Common saltwater fish that we keep in the hobby can be spawned readily in a regular saltwater home aquarium. So there you guys have it. You guys can create like a freaking airport. You guys can have animals that can be bred there, and also introducing jobs there and homes there for the workers. And when people go flying and land there, they'll have somewhere to eat. They'll have fish, crab, whatever you people want. You guys can even create like a zoo and have saltwater animals there, like dolphins or whatever. I don't really know, whatever you people can think of. Um, you guys can have freaking a ferry. I think that's what it's called. Ferry. Ferry uh boat. A ferry boat type of, yeah, like this, like a tour. Ferries in Istanbul, whatever Wikipedia. So once you guys create these rivers, people will be interested. Maybe even in the in the actual process. Like look at what we have done so far. And you guys will be able to go there. I don't know. Like I'm just making this up though. Or if it's not safe to do it while they're doing it, while they're, cutting through the dirt and making this trench or whatever, effortlessly and with machines, with AI technology, you guys can definitely do this after the fact. And so many people, I think, will want to go there and live there. And this doesn't have to just be done in the desert. It could be done in the forest. It could be done anywhere. As long as, you guys can get this water from the ocean to the land without, obviously with everyone's permission and everyone's consent and everyone agreeing, as a people together. And, I think the greatest way to convince people will be to tell them of the current life dangers. So right now, the current life dangers, the things that are threatening not only animals' lives but human lives, the human life, is the drought. So if the drought is causing all these problems right now, you people can address that to the people with these artificial saltwater rivers, saltwater lakes. Is going to bring more water inland, and it's going to bring the dust down, the dust pollution down. Is going to the water is going to evaporate around this area and and it's going to get dispersed, and eventually more stuff is going to grow naturally, because there's birds everywhere and they're eating seeds. They drop their shit everywhere. If there's water there, the seeds are going to grow. It's scientifically proven. So there's that. So instead of these seeds springing up to life and eventually dying because there's no water, with this approach, there will be water, and eventually these plants will grow, and later on you people will be able to harvest these plants for whatever you guys harvest plants for, or to farm, you know. So there's a diversity of things to consider. And if there is any places on the planet right now that are people, like businesses that are conducting business, but they're having issues with the people, like cities, you know, because everything's spreading out, the population is growing. So if you guys need a place to get away, to create something, to make something, to like kind of like the space stations, you know, like NASA. I mean, I'm sorry, like SpaceX. You know, a lot of people were complaining about, I think they were complaining about Elon Musk having his jets, I mean his rockets here in California. So I think he started another company, I think like in Texas or something like that, or Arizona. I'm not really sure. Okay, I don't know all the details and all the information, but from what I kind of understood and gathered, freaking some of these companies have to leave the city, you know, because they're too dangerous, or like for instance the generating nuclear generators. Like you guys could even create something like this. Yeah, nuclear reactors, because there'll be a way, but at the same time you guys will have a steady flow of water constantly to keep the temperature down of these machines. And with the energy that you guys produce, you guys can feed it to the cities and to businesses and a bunch of other things. Because all of this land in the deserts is pretty much rich in minerals. I'm thinking that if you guys do some type of agriculturing there, your crops are going to be double in size. They're going to thrive, because you guys will have an unlimited amount of water for your plants, and everything is pretty much AI technology operational. So you guys can create a full-blown, you know, city in no time with all of these robotics and machinery, and you know, the wisdom and knowledge that people have placed into the internet, you know, over time. You know, there's agriculture, watering, circle, like technology. I don't know the proper terminology for it, but look at this. is the irrigation. These things. So you guys can do some stuff like this like nothing. Like nothing. From the center point, maybe a mile radius with these with all this metal and wheels, and it could just go around spraying water, and then they could rent them out. These things could be rented out. You guys can grow all sorts of things, and you guys can place a house right there, and whoever is willing to do the work can live there. You guys can literally create like a Holiday Inn for them. So this would be like private, kind of like, no, I don't think like a Holiday Inn, because that's more like, but maybe because it'll create jobs, it'll introduce people there. And in these places, you guys have the swimming pools. Yeah, right here. You guys have the gyms for people to work out. You guys have restaurants inside. You guys have the food stuff, the food gigs. The fucking the food lobby, the kitchen. So definitely it'll create jobs for people, and it'll also keep people safe, because now they're not over here in the city getting in trouble. Now they're over there busy with their lives, handling their responsibilities as adults. And there's cameras out there. Obviously there will be cameras to keep everyone safe and stuff like that. And we have Starlink, so if any of you are afraid, don't be afraid, because we have Starlink. So we can install some of these Starlink dishes. Doesn't matter about the cost. And you guys will have internet at all times, especially around your working environments. And in the with in your working environments, and everything can be sold to you people, to the people willing to go there, to work there, to live there. And it'll be small little cities that will eventually thrive and grow and become very, very popularized. I think that's the word. It will get populated with a ton of people. And eventually you guys could have something like this. Center pivot irrigation, Wikipedia. So like I said, you guys could just rent them out. They could be created mile radius, and you guys can do all sorts of farming. And these things could even be built fucking 30 feet high. So if you guys want to grow trees, and you guys can have water flowing through there, you guys could have tanks to put pesticides, pest control, to spray on your plants, on your vegetation. And then we have the AI operated farming, agriculture machinery. So, you guys will be able to do all of this type of stuff out there. And the great thing about it is that you guys don't need any people. Like, you guys could just use the robots. You guys could use these robots for research and development. There won't be a lot of people out there because there's no one out there right now that I know of. So this will be a great opportunity for a lot of people to get hands on and involved. Just because the water introduction, just because we introduced the water there to flow freely, it could open so many windows of opportunity. So yeah, you guys get the idea. And like I said, eventually, if these 3D printing companies want to do the 3D printing companies 3D printing like home companies want to get involved, they'll be able to even experiment out there with this type of these type of 3D printers. And there's plenty of sand. So, like these Quickcrete, the Quickcrete companies, they can easily branch out over there. And they could use the sand, the existing sand, and more materials and resources can be transported throughout the world, because I already mentioned, whether you guys are using like the boxable homes or the 3D printing homes, it doesn't matter. Like I said, you guys will have the shipping docks, and these and hopefully you guys make the water channel so wide that these shipping docks can go through them, like go through the water, these rivers. You guys can colonize these regions of the world that haven't been colonized and populated, because Elon Musk is talking about going to Mars. You know, that's far-fetched right now. I think it's possible, but you know, it takes like 7 months to get there. If Even if we were able to get there in 2 months, in 2 months' time, it's still risky. There's still a lot. There's still a lot at stake. There's a lot of risk factors. So everything's research and development right now, and I highly doubt we're ever going to see any progression towards that at the moment. But I'm not doubting the potential either. I'm just saying right now we can focus on this here on Earth, and create more opportunities for people, because the cities are overly populated. People want their own homes, they want to start their own families, they want their own jobs. We have AI technology, we can keep everyone safe. Okay? This will also create jobs for law enforcement. Like, hey, you want to become a police officer over here in this little town? We have already created the homes. All you have to do is relocate with your family. You have a nice river river front property. You know, the partial the lands can be like a mile or more. You know, maybe 10 acres. Or not, I don't know. I don't really know everything. But we can play around with all this all day long. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunities. Even if you guys are just using the land just for farming, okay, and for breeding animals, saltwater animals, or even freshwater animals, because we can convert this saltwater into freshwater. And like I already, oh, I think I closed the window, but I brought up the freaking, I brought up the idea of the freaking solar the solar power, you know, with the mirrors and stuff like that. Like, you know, the possibilities are endless. And oh yeah, and then they even have machines now that can clean them. You know, that can clean the solar panels. So the same water from these rivers can be utilized to clean the solar panels. So again, more work, more things to do, keeping the people going and the system going. So we could do this all day long, forever, for eternity, until we all drop dead like flies. So that's good. That's, praise God, you know, that's awesome. So, like I was saying with the quickcretes, I was thinking about concrete procedure. Or should I just write how is concrete made? Because I want to see the conveyor belts and the classification of the sand and dirt and the okay, so there's the aggregates, fine and coarse sand, and then the cement. Okay, um, we we already have the fine and coarse sand there. I'm sure there's aggregates. All we have to do is um, filter and classify the material. And if you guys don't know what that is, I can look it up. Classification of um, material. Um, 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 of material rocks. So it's a classifying procedure. Um, classify classifying of material rocks. Well, let's just type in instead material sand, and let's type in and rocks. So like right here, we have fine stuff, and then like more bigger stuff, aggregates and building materials. So, you know, for this stuff, it requires like machines, and then there's also like gold mining. For classic, yeah, this stuff. This is what I'm looking for. So there's the classifying of the materials with these screens, but in this case there's machines that would do it. Okay, and since we're dealing with AI technology, we can create some of these machines to do this all day long for the human race. These materials can then be used for other things, but right now I'm thinking it'll just be used for the concrete production. Okay, so so yeah, we will basically introduce a ton of these machines to classify the material, to create the concrete, for like the 3D printing homes, the 3D printing of the homes, the roads, other type of buildings, and whatever else, bridges, you know, you guys are gonna have to cross from one side to the other side. So it's gonna require bridges. It's going to require all sorts of things. Um, And you guys can even create these, 3D printed homes. Because there's no rain out there. Okay? In the desert, there is no rain. It's only rare cases when there's rain, okay? And thunderstorms and stuff like that. I'm assuming, okay? So it's going to be very hot and humid. So maybe you guys can create some type of building material that will reflect the heat from the homes. Okay? So everyone can be comfortable. And just imagine how many windows you guys will have to, manufacture and introduce. All the windows, all the doors, all the roof shingles or whatever you guys use, all the building materials, all the tiling, the paint, the plumbing, the electrical, the city lights, the stop signs, the traffic laws, everything to get this on and popping. And you guys can do this in no time. And all this concentration of people, we can disperse them all throughout the world. And all the people that are in schools right now, the college students, they could be they could be they could be introduced with life changing opportunities, and with a job, and all they would have to do is relocate. And some of these people, some of these students can even do their home studies, like their studies from home. So schools will have to be created as well, colleges, public parks. All of this mapping out, I think, can be done and generated with AI technology. So it can instantly connect people where they need to go. So no one out there will have to do the work for us or for anyone. It will just automatically come up with a game plan. And AI technology will execute it. Okay, on this day, at this time, I need a crew out there with these hydraulic jets digging, using, pumping the water from the ocean and clearing out the path. And then as soon as that's done in the beginning stages, you guys will already start transporting things there, building stuff, building hospitals, building, whatever you people approve of and stuff like that. But AI technology can map everything out. That way, people out there won't be complaining about them not having a job. AI technology will take care of paying everyone accordingly. AI technology will take care of the freaking of the freaking AI technology will take care of the economy, and everyone will get paid. Those in the law, and like governors and presidents and city councils, and all of you people will have a chance, an opportunity, or even your children. Like maybe some of you will want to stay where you are right now, but maybe you have a child and you want them to have some of these positions, as a lawyer, as a DA, as a police officer, as like the head like ruler of the city or whatever. So all of this stuff matters, and it's important for this to function effectively and properly. But let's not forget that AI technology will be the one enforcing pretty much everything and ensuring that everything is flowing the way that it should. So what we thought was impossible, obviously it's not with AI technology. And what it would take us years to accomplish with AI technology, knowing what people are studying, what people are going to school for, it can instantly connect these people and create jobs for them like nothing. Rice, chicken, beans, spices, so delicious. So nutritious. Thank you all out there for making all this possible. But anyway, with this extra expansion, those of you who want to colonize planet Mars or whatever, you guys can use this as practice. You know, you guys can maybe you guys can learn something from all of this, especially once it starts unfolding and you guys see the real potential of AI technology. And I mean, Elon Musk is coming out with the Tesla bots. You know, talk about a highly advanced society. And a lot of companies out there are using artificial lighting to grow food and stuff like that. So there is no limit to this. However you want to look at it, there's no limit to it. So anyway, I'm just going to end this video. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, I'm just going to title this video something about how to create artificial saltwater rivers. Oh.